Hey everyone, Lisa here. It's day 16 and my tower month is proving to be my tired month, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm just coming, back to Eugene after these wonderful few days on the coast with my um, glorious friend Anna. It was really a nice time, and the dogs and the sand and the sea, and but coming back into home and knowing that I'm going to work tomorrow, predictable stuff. And then I saw another friend tonight, and that was really lovely, except that I drove my car over a curb, and just I couldn't, like, the light was in my eyes, and I'm not the world's greatest driver anyway. and um, and next thing I knew, I had a flat tire. And this is really pathetic, but I've never changed a tire before. We tried to. We couldn't quite get the lug nuts. It just was. Ugh. Anyway, we tried. We were getting going, and this really sweet guy came by, and he started to help us. And then, eventually, I called AAA, and they had like one of those, like, hydraulic, just remove the lug nuts. We're done in, no time at all. And I was on my way. But, like, just one of those, like, this is so goofy. Life is goofy. But again, my tiredness, keeps bringing me back to this question of my vigor and my wandsy nature and the source of flame within me, and where that energy and that vigor comes from, and how it gets harnessed in my life, and how it gets replenished, how it harmonizes with source, with water, with relationality. And I had been doing a reading for Anna yesterday, where I did sort of a 3-voiced reading with 3 different decks, and I was using as kind of the sort of shadowy subtext text, 3 different texts, 3 different decks, the Nicoletta Ciccoli. And I've just been thinking about her sequence of images. It's becoming more important to me, more and more important to think about the sequence of the tower and the star. And, this deck, the tower, really is about the way we build our world and the effort that goes into that, and the sort of precariousness, because we're constantly, it's constantly one step at a time as we build ourselves up. And so we keep kind of putting in energy, and then putting in a little more energy, and putting in a little bit more energy. And, how sustainable is it? How sustainable, in my old job at the university, we would always use that cliche, like, we're building the plane while we fly it. And sometimes we would say, okay, we're building the automobile factory to manufacture the cars, which then we'll need to build a freeway for, so that they can drive to the airport, so we can build the plane while we're flying it. It's just like this sense of we're just going to keep kind of putting this energy out there. It's building up the tower that you're standing on. This is not, you got to get out of the self-reflective loop here, where you're trying to lift yourself up by your bootstraps. I think that's in the nature of my way that I work with my wandsiness, my energy, my fire, my inspiration. It's like I like take the energy from as if it's from myself, and then I bring it into the world, as a platform to lift myself off of. And it's not sustainable, right? You can't actually pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. You can't actually create sui generis, self-generated energy to move forward. And the star card knows this, knows the way in which we can find deep harmony with the universe. And I like I like Linnea Weatherstone's comments in the little white book, which are often like, they're often, I mean, she's making sense of images that weren't originally designed to be tarot cards, so they're often really interesting, and they're slightly off the beaten track of more typical explanations, and I find that, you know, deeply compelling and lovely, and I was about to say nutritious, delicious and nutritious, for your tarot consumption. So she writes, the universe sings its eternal song of hope and beauty. Listen and find your own harmonic place in the cosmos. Listen and find your own harmonic place in the cosmos. You know, so that that sense that there's, you know, harmony and music that's already out there, and can we attune to it? I think, you know, the lesson of the tower that I keep coming back to again and again and again is, without attunement, life feels pretty precarious. You know, it's just me trying to build up the platform from which I rise or fly. So may we be nourished by the cosmos around us. May we attune in a deep and profound way to the world that's ever flowing through us, around us, underneath us, above us, inside us, outside us. May we attune to that deep and cosmic harmony. May we feel that support. Yeah. And it may be that if we do find a way to feel that support, so that we live a little bit less like this and a little bit more like this, it may be that then the kind of vulnerability, the showing up for life that I was talking about yesterday, it may be that that vulnerability becomes a more attainable way of life. Okay. As always, I'm so grateful to you guys for showing up here, and I thank you for your practice. Take care.